Hey, what's going on, YouTube? What's happening? So, this is CC Talk yet again. Hope everyone's doing well, feeling well, because I'm finna go in on The Bold and the Beautiful. Um, Bold and the Beautiful. Man, this has been for the last maybe 3.5 months. This has been probably one of the most frustrating soaps in daytime to watch. I know a lot of people love to complain about General Hospital and sometimes Y&R, but I don't know what's going on at Bell Productions, but they really, in terms of writing at least, need to seriously get their shit together when it comes to The Bold and the Beautiful. Um, this show is just hard to watch a lot of days. It's just frustrating as hell. Um, as you all know, the whole Who Shot Bill, the knockoff version of Who Shot JR. I guess you could say the first part of it, ended a few days ago. Um, I was really feeling the direction that Brad was going to take us, the viewers, when he basically wanted to make Liam the shooter. I was like, okay, Liam is going to be the shooter. We're finally going to get a flaw in the Saint Liam Cooper Spencer character. This is great. This is great, Brad. Finally, no, it's total red herring. Kind of find out it was just Liam imagining things. It was just Liam imagining things, especially when he got that stupid bump on the head, which I'm so sick and tired of, soaps pulling, from the bump on the head to the brain tumors. It's like enough. Brain tumors, bumps on the head, returns from the dead, doppelgangers, switched at birth stories. I mean, I'm just over it. I'm over it. Can you just write a fucking realistic organic soap around here without doing stupid, dumbass tricks? And Brad Bell, you would think, considering he is cut from the William J. Bell cloth, he would know better than that, but no, he's doing just like every other fucking soap in daytime, and he is doing the silly tricks. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, Liam was the fucking red herring in the story, because lo and behold, the real shooter was Taylor. And so while I was like, okay, Taylor shooting Bill, what is her purpose? And she pretty much gave a realistic purpose. The reason why she shot Bill was because she heard from rapist Ridge Forrester himself, the guy who's been a 2-time rapist over himself, from raping the first Caroline, which is Caroline Spencer's auntie, back in the early 90s when she was married to Thorne. He raped her, and then he sat there and raped Brooke when she was knocked down on cold medicine in the early 2000s. But yet, here he is trying to be a Me Too hero. Give me a fucking break. He sits up here and tells Taylor, I guess in a phone conversation, that, Steffi was raped by Bill. And, Steffi is basically, finna sit up here, I guess you could say, and not work or geared towards her marriage getting better because of Bill. So here comes Taylor, bad leg and all. And mind you, I have never been a big Taylor Hayes fan. I've always been a big Brooke Logan fan, because I just have never been too fond of sanctimonious characters in daytime, from Taylor Hayes to Carrie Brady on days, to Liam, Saint-like Cooper, Spencer on Bold and the Beautiful, and now Hope Logan. I just don't like very self-righteous characters in daytime, because for me, I feel like the human conditioning is gray. There's not a good person out there. There's not a bad person out there. We are all shades of gray. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, then what the fuck ever, piss off. But nevertheless, that I just never been big on Taylor Hayes, but I actually felt sorry for her fans the other day, because for them, they thought, oh my God, Taylor Hayes, she's back. And I was actually happy Hunter Tyler was back because she hadn't been on, soaps in well over how many years? About, oh my gosh, it was just like 4 or 5 years, right? So to be able to see her back was pretty darn iconic, especially the route that Brad Bell decided to go in, right? So when she confronted Bill about the shooting and whatnot, she pointed the gun at him again and was almost going to shoot him again. And then all of a sudden, I think the daughter came in or something, I think Steffi came in and, totally changed her mind or whatever and stuff. And so, again, the reason why I wanted Taylor back, it wasn't because of some damn, attempted murder charge. I wanted her back for Steffi, because that's her mother. And I just felt like, in my opinion, Steffi needs her mom since she's pregnant. And there was no reason in my mind or in the world why Steffi should be pregnant for the first time and there's no Taylor Hayes. It's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? I didn't think Brad Bell would use Taylor Hayes in this warped, unhinged, mentally imbalanced bullshit of a story where she was going to be the shooter. And so Taylor started to have like an emotional breakdown because I think what is his name? Bill was going to sit up there and, I guess you could say manipulate and blackmail her because Taylor was freaking out and all this other stuff. And she even asked Bill straight up, like, you still love my daughter, do it? You still love my daughter. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And mind you, I am a Steffi and Bill fan in terms of the potential as them being a couple. But the fact that Brad Bell has them doing all this ridiculous plot pointish bull crap so they could potentially be a couple, it's just frustrating because the chemistry is there between Jacqueline McInnes Woods and Don Diamont on the screen. The mere fact of the matter, they have to have these two characters go through so many hula hoops instead of it just being character driven and organic. It's just asinine to me, and then of course Bill turns around and I guess you could say said that he was going to drop the whole thing. So as long as he's got to pursue Steffi. And Steffi, looking at the situation at hand, is like, I need to keep my mother safe. I need to keep my mother safe. And I get that. That's your mom. Your mom did a mama bear thing for you, so it's understandable. But again, that's just another way to ruin Steffi and Bill for the fans who really do want that potential couple, like me. And so now he's manipulating Steffi and Taylor. And again, Bill is going to come out looking like the jackass in all of this. Why? Ridge was the one that put out the false allegations to begin with. Liam ruined his own marriage from the get-go when he planted that seed in Steffi's head by kissing Sally Spectra. And I feel like Brad Bell is just missing so many details and beats and in his storylines right now or this particular storyline, because this is the only story that is being played 5 days a week. And I just don't get it. And the second portion of the story is really grating at my nerves is Hope Logan. Hope Logan, this reincarnation of Hope Logan is driving me up the wall. She is so self-righteous. At least when Kimberly Matula was playing, Hope, I knew she was self-righteous, but goddamn, she is really awful now. Like, she is so self-righteous to the point where on Friday's episode, she had the nerve, the audacity to sit up here yet again, giving Steffi judgment calls about, towards her mom of all people, Brooke fucking Logan, talking about, so I just can't believe Steffi would sleep with a father and a son the way she did. I said, hold up, ho. Aren't you the product of an affair? Your daddy is Deacon because your mom sat up there and gapped her legs open to him while he was still married to your sister Bridget. That's how you was made, ho. Do you forget that? You must totally forgot the history of how you were made, because I remember when Kimberly Matula's Hope found out about it, because it was Ridge and Brooks sitting up there having the conversation about how Hope was, produced, and they were so worried about the press fight out, because this was when Ron Moss was playing. And this happened like early 2010s or something. And, this is when Hope and Steffi was, finally sore ass into being young adult children at the time. And she found out about it because Hope was standing by, Ridge or Brooks' office door, and she heard the whole conversation. She heard that she was Deacon's child at the time, because she thought she was Ridge's child. No, this bitch is Deacon's child. So for her to sit up here and just forget all this, and not only that, and I'm hating how Brad is also writing fucking Brooke again. Brooke is sitting here just listening to her daughter, make all these judgment calls. She's sitting up there just listening and like, and I'm just like, see, this is the problem with Bold and Beautiful. They don't have a ball-busting person to come in and call these people out on their bullshit. Even the likes of Hope Williams, oh Lord, my girl, Hope Logan needs to fucking be called out a time or two, for being just so airheaded and so desperate and so thirsty. They need an Amber Moore. They need somebody, yes, has Amber Moore made her mistakes? Absolutely. But the thing is about Amber Moore, is that, yes, she's made her own mistakes and stuff, but it didn't stop Stephanie Forrester for calling people out on their bullshit. Amber Moore needs to be back in motherfucking LA, wrecking shop with the Logans, the Forresters, and the Spencers. And she has issues with all three of those families. And I would love for her to take on the likes of Hope. I would love for her to take on the likes of Brooke, especially as it pertains to Rick. Because can you imagine having a Rick, Amber, Maya triangle about now? Now, it probably wouldn't work at the moment, considering Jacob Young is off contract because he wants to do his other, career ventures, but you could always recast. You've done it before, Brad Bell. Recast him, but Amber Moore needs to be back calling these people out on their own bullshit. There's none of that in this town. Nobody is, calling out anybody in this town, or in this particular fashion house over their dirty mess, and Brooke is sitting there just like a boring matriarch, just letting it happen. And so we get Monday's episode, right? Hope is all like, Mom, I'm gonna invite Liam to stay over, the house so he can heal and he could get some home cooked food, and he could stay in one of the cabins in the backyard. It's private. Is nobody not gonna mess with him? Brooke is looking at her like, bitch, really? That's the oldest whole trick in the book. I know what you're doing, because I done that a time or two, especially when it came to Big Bear and Thorn. So how dare you sitting up here trying to be a low-key hoe? And that's my problem with Hope. She is trying to be an undercover hoe. I know people love to get on Brooke Logan for being a hoe, but this is before Brad Bell made her into a slut-shamed hoe. No, when Brooke was hoeing back in the 90s, she did it because she wanted Forrester Creations, because she made all of those products for Forrester Creations, and she took 50-something% of the company, and she wanted Ridge Forrester at the time. That was great character-driven storyline at the time that drove that show to its high marks back in the day. But we get the reverse opposite from Hope. She's trying to be a undercover hoe. She's already been kissing up on Liam. In that funky ass roach tail that he's been living in. And she is sitting here trying to be like, in one breath, she's like, I'm not trying to ruin a marriage. I'm trying to be a good person. But then the next minute, she's sitting up here kissing up on Liam. Even Liam was looking at her like, oh, so you're just gonna move me up in here? Especially since Liam, got the annulment papers from Steffi, because Steffi signed the annulment papers like Bill told her to, so Bill can sit up there and try to, I guess you could say, marry her, because that's the rumor that he's gonna marry her in May Suites. And I just, and what makes me just so tripped out, I'm like, wait, you mean to tell me Liam doesn't have any coin to himself where he can sit there and get himself like a temporary place? I just don't get that, but he has to stay with Hope? That's what I'm talking about. It's the plot point bullcrap that is going on in this show that is making people just want to pull their hair out, at least on Twitter. It's just stupid. It's stupid writing. And Brad Bell ought to be ashamed of himself. There's only one arc story on this show that is being played 5 days a week, and it's Steffi, Liam, Bill, and Hope. There is no, there's no other stories that's being played. You're not doing anything with the Avants, which is Maya. Again, the Avants was the reason why your show got resurrected post, what is her name? Stephanie Forrester got put into the ground, and Ron Moss decided, he wanted to leave the show. You feel what I'm saying? The Avants was the reason why the ratings came in like gangbusters from 2000, and was it about 2014 to about 2017, the show was hot because of the Avants. And you're not doing anything with them, Brad? Like, come on, bruh. And now you're just, again, there's no Maya story. You have a responsibility there to tell a Maya story, Brad. Considering this is the first transgender, openly transgender character in daytime, and you have won numerous awards the last 2 years over it, and you have done nothing with Kyla Mosley. And it's just, a crying shame. And she deserves her story time. Heather Tom deserves story time. Heather Tom is viewed as the fucking Meryl Streep of daytime because of the amount of Emmys she has. And you can't even give her a meaty story. You can't even give her a meaty story. Everybody's being pushed to the side to chime in on this damn Steffi, Liam, Bill, Hope garbage. Brooke, again, is a smart woman. Hoe and all, but she's a smart fucking woman. You mean to tell me she can't get her ass back into a chemistry lab and work on Brooke's bedroom line 2.0, making the ultra silky fabric for, the new, ages and stuff? Like, come on, Brad. You could be doing so much more with this show, giving fucking Catherine Kennedy Lang, she is the star of this show. She's been on since the very fucking beginnings. You would think you would have, I'm trying to remember, even when Hacktastic Chuck Pratt, was writing All My Children, he never, as far as I know, did never sideline Susan Lucci. So why would you sideline and have, Catherine Kennedy Lang, Brooke, be this boring ass matriarch, hardly getting her daughter together about her choices that she's making, being so desperate and so thirsty when it comes to this dude that could potentially break her heart again. Like, I just don't understand the motivation and the drive of what Brad Bell is doing with this show. And it's just frustrating as hell, and I need some fucking answers. Really, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing this show 5 days a week, and this is the main story that's playing, and nobody else is getting any storyline. I thought the purposes of a soap is it's an ensemble piece, and you're supposed to have at least 3 thrust stories that play, percolating every couple of days, especially with a 30-minute soap. You should at least have 2 stories, playing every other day. And then you have, what is his name? Ian, with the baby who used to play Jax on General Hospital. You're just wasting him. He was supposed to be Thorne. What was the point of snatching and grabbing him and firing Windsor, Harmon for if you was going to sit there and just waste both of these people's time? You could have just sent Thor to, Forrester International if you knew he wasn't going to be needed. It's just, what are you doing, Brad? What are you doing? I feel like this is the thing. I feel like Brad Bell needs to go ahead and just give up one of his positions. He needs to give up his writing position. Give it to Michael McNeeses and Michelle Vision, and and you could just control the executive producing part, Brad, because I just don't think you should be holding both titles of this show anymore. I really don't think so, because you have just lost your fucking way. Point blank in the period. And it's hurting the show. So I don't know. This show is just, it's just, and you would think for a 30-minute soap it shouldn't be hard to get through, but it's such an ass kicker these days to watch, because there is so many details that Brad isn't hitting. There's so much history he's neglecting, and he's not writing to character. He's writing plot point television, and you can see why the ratings are still like not the greatest. Because he's writing a very plottish type of show. And he has this quad being the primary and only focus that he is reliant on. So, anyhow, I've ranted enough. Feel free to rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you watch Bold and the Beautiful, I would love to know your opinions on it, because I am just bamboozled about this show and how bad it is. So, it's not very good right now, y'all. So if you are watching 5 days a week like I am, hang in there. Maybe Brad will wake up from his boring, taking a break, a coma, and he might surprise us with something else. But right now, he is just not winning me over at the moment. Anyways, talk to you all soon. Peace.